Steel rims I'm using, the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take off all the wheel weights. I'm just going to keep the valve stem in there. I don't really care about it. But these are just stock 15-inch rims for a Ford Explorer, steel rims. The dimensions are 6.5-inch width by a 16 3/8 outer diameter. So that's basically what it is. I'm using the same setup for the sprockets, which uses the same banding. As you can see, there's etch lines from the plasma table that'll tell us where to put each stud, which is where the sprocket teeth will bolt to. So I gave it a nice firm booger tack weld, and then from there that's pretty much going to be our fulcrum point from the bend line, and then we'll just do that incrementally. So I got it clamped down. Everything looking pretty good. Basically, I'll just continue clamping and welding, and just a procedural thing until you're all the way around. And of course, I'll keep an eye on this, because this is actually exactly 6.5. So I guess in the future, if I would make this again, I would definitely shrink it down a little, give you some slop there, so you don't have to be so critical on this guy. Because right now I'm at the end of each flange, basically, so I got a plus or minus 16th tolerance. So this is basically my process here. Is I just get these C-clamps, I clamp it down just a smidgen away from the tack weld from the previous operation, and basically I just will incrementally go around this. So as you can tell, I don't know, I guess I could say 3/16 of an inch off side to side. So what I'm going to try to do next time on that next idler is putting it on a flat spot. Well, here's my second idler. A lot better than the first one. It's nice and true and squared up. The key is to use a lot of clamps and a lot of patience. This is a 45-minute job compared to the 25-minute job, so just take your time and get it done right. So I'm going to start welding the hex coupler studs onto my sprocket rim right now. There's a little scribe line right here. That's my actual correct pitch line. So I'll just stack those on top, 2 per sprocket tooth. Just a record for posterity here, I am off 5/16 of an inch lengthwise on the total wrap plate, and then I need to change my pitch to accommodate the actual outer diameter or outer circumference of the actual sprocket wheel from the 1/8 inch. So I finished up my sprocket wheels and my idler wheels. So the wraps are on, the iron wraps, and then also the sprocket studs where the sprocket teeth will mesh on or bolt up to. On the sprocket wheel, I just did a full weld around the perimeter here of the banding, just to keep any puckering from happening, because you're going to get a torque moment on this thing. It's going to want to try to pucker the steel. So we'll see how that goes. But for the idlers, I just stitched them on, because there's nothing really major going on. It's just got to be a rolling surface. Basically what I'll do is I'll put this 1/2-inch belting on. So I got my belting cut to length. What I'm pretty much just going to do is I'll just wrap this around like this, and then I'll mark off on each stud where I'll place my vacant holes. So I got all my holes marked out. I don't know if you can see that, but basically they're all spaced out nice and evenly, so it matches what I have for my weld studs. What I'll do is I'll just drill a pilot hole, and unfortunately the only thing I got is a hole saw. It's kind of inefficient, but it does work. I'll just get the hole saw, 1 1/4 inch bit, egg that out, and then we'll place it onto the sprocket wheel. So I got all my pilots drilled out, and what I'll do, take it over to the drill press here, use the hole saw to bore it out. So I got all the holes drilled out. Just make sure Use lots of lubricant, dishwasher fluid, and water. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the end notches here. This is where the two ends meet, so there'll be half circles. I'll do that on both ends, and then we'll be done. So we got the two ends all notched out. Basically, this is what it's going to be like. Wrapped all the way around, and as you can tell, my belting supplier didn't really do a good job of holding the 6.5 inches that I called out for. But yep, it's looking pretty good. Should keep the snow and ice from sticking together. So I got the sprockets all spliced together now. Ground down. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach the belting and my sprocket teeth to the sprocket wheels. So all the sprocket wheels are now fully assembled and ready to go. Got some mock-up track cross members right here. It's a lot bigger than anticipated, but it's really heavy duty. They gotta weigh at least 35 pounds a piece, so pretty indestructible at least, which is good. Kind of goofed up here on the whole lining of the belting, but that's not going to affect anything. Looks like I'm still correct. I'll be running a 5.5 inch pitch, which is pretty similar to what Nodwells run. So yeah.